Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So it is time for Monday's news. It is March 20th, 2017. And a few things are in the news, not a lot, but there are some things to discuss. So the first thing I want to talk about is the HTC U Ultra Sapphire Edition. Now, it is not the HTC 11. Rumors came out. I didn't really post anything on the HTC 11 because I actually hadn't heard anything about it until I saw the rumors and leaks about it. And I was kind of like, I didn't hear anything about that. And it's buzz all over the internet. You know, those people, some people put out videos, some people didn't. But what I will tell you is that there is no HTC 11 being announced from HTC. If you hadn't heard, they just basically released the Sapphire edition of the HTC U Ultra that they talked about at the launch event. So you basically get, the only difference is you get 128 gig and you get the glass, the Sapphire glass. So, you know, I'm thinking this, I've heard rumors that it'll cost about $950 US. So, you know, take that for a grain of salt or whatever you want to take it for. Next leak I want to talk about, or rumor, is the price of the Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus. Now, when you switch it over to, when it translates to US dollars, it's $970 pretty much, and $850 for the smaller one. Why some people might think that that's worth it, I don't know. But the price is going up and up on all these smartphones. And I'm very interested to hear the conversation about the pricing of the S8 once, you know, because everybody kind of trashed the HTC U Ultra's price. And I'm in agreement. The price was it's a little steep, but you can now get that phone for $600 or less, which makes it a really good option. But the S8 going to be about $1,000. So how can a person justify that pricing? You know, because it's got waterproof, because it's got wireless charging. You know, you be the judge of that. You know, $1,000 for a phone is $1,000 for a phone. It doesn't matter what it has; it's still $1,000, and that's a lot of money. So, other things in the news: the Boost Mobile version of the LG Stylo 3 was released a few days ago. A lot of people started messaging me and saying, "Jay, you need to go ahead and buy it. You need to go ahead and buy it." I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait for a good deal. I don't care if it's $180. It's on sale through Boost Mobile. Now, some people keep saying this on Virgin and Boost. It's not on Virgin. It's just on Boost from what I've seen. I just pulled up both of the websites, and I don't see the Stylo 3 on the Virgin website. I do see it on the Boost website. It's been there for about 3 days or so, maybe even longer. Since the recording of this video, which is again March 20th, 2017. So the LG Stylo 3, you know, I'm not jumping up and down to, I like the first Stylo the best. The Stylo 3 is nice. They did some minor tweaks to it. But you know, why are so many people excited about the Stylo 3? I don't get it. I think the Stylo 2 wasn't enough to warrant an upgrade, and now the Stylo 3 is the same thing. It's not enough to warrant an upgrade if you have the current Stylo or the Stylo 2. I don't see the gains with that device. I think LG is really slipping. They could push that device over the top. You know, they could give it a 1080p display. It doesn't really need a bigger battery, I guess, but they could give it a bigger battery. You know, they could change the screen. They can do anything to make that phone more appealing. I don't see what's so appealing about the Stylo 3. You know, even though it's $180, I don't see it as a better option than the ZTE Z Max Pro. That phone is nice for the value. It's the same price, $179 full cost, but I don't see, you know, the Stylo 3 being that appealing at this point in the game. Not for $180. Because I don't see the gains that everybody else is seeing in that phone, you know, and maybe that's not what it's about. Maybe they want me to review it because it's a new device and they want to hear my thoughts on it. But I don't see the big deal about the Stylo 3. It looks cool, you know, it looks a little different the way they integrated the pen this time. But I don't know. I just don't see the hype about it yet. And, you know, maybe I will later. We're human. We change our minds. And hopefully I can get a good deal at Best Buy with it, you know, on special. It's going to go on sale. It's not going to stay $180 forever. That's just not how technology works. Everything goes on sale. So the Stylo 3 is definitely a phone that's intriguing to a lot of people. But I don't see it as exciting like everyone else does. Maybe, I don't know. Other than the Stylo 3 being on sale, Boost Mobile they've had this sale going on, and I think it ends April 17th. They've got like all of their iPhones on sale, like $200-300 off. They're selling some really good phones at really low cost, and they're knocking $200-300 off the phones. You can get an iPhone SE 64 gig for $229. But the problem with that is, and there is a problem, it's locked to Boost, so you might not want to be on Boost Mobile. But that's the price you pay if you're gonna kick it with Boost. And at least Boost has the options, At least Boost Mobile has the options for these devices. Excuse me. So that's a good deal. Another deal that I want to talk about, which popped up a few days ago on the internet over the weekend, I think it did, popped up Saturday or something like that, is the LG G6 on US Cellular. It's actually only selling for $550. But here again, you're locked to US Cellular. Now, I don't know about US Cellular's unlock policy or code. I don't know. You can pay full cost for it though and get it for $550. I don't even know the bands of US Cellular devices. I don't know if it's GSM. I don't know anything about US Cellular, so you'll have to educate me in the comments. But the G6 selling for $650. That's pretty good. I already have my G6 accessories coming in. I just bought another one, and then I've got another one that I purchased. I've already shown it off on video. It's the Rinky case. Still brand new in the box, waiting for me to put on the device. I don't know how LG did it, but they crammed that 5.7-inch display in this small body, and they did a great job. I think the G6 is way more appealing right now than the S8. The S8, I'm looking at the way it's built, and the curved screen is just not appealing to me. The curved screens on phones are just a headache, man, because you can't get good cases, you can't get tempered glasses or screen protectors. It's just a nightmare, So, of course, I'll probably review the S8 or the S8 Plus is the one I actually want to go for. But again, when you're paying for this with your own money, that's going to be well over $1,000 for me. And I don't care how much money I have. $1,000 is $1,000. But the G6 is looking way more appealing, and not just because of the price. It's more about the way it looks. I like the way it looks. Now, I'm not a fan of the alien face on the back or the clown face on the back. I've said that in multiple videos. I think that's hideous that they still use that setup. But with that, you get some really great cameras. So I really want to put it against the HTC Ultra's cameras, which definitely they supersede the S7's cameras by a long shot. So I'm curious if Samsung is going to do something different in the S8, so I can compare all of these devices, the S8's camera along with the Ultra's camera and the G6's camera, because right now the Ultra's camera is really great, but the G6 is looking pretty decent, man. It's looking really good, and I think it's going to be a hot seller. I've listened to comments about it's last year's specs and all this other nonsense. I guess that's all personal opinion, I guess, at this point, but I feel like the G6 is going to be a hot seller. And on US Cellular for $550, that's fantastic. And I looked at US Cellular's website, and you can actually buy the G6 on, they have different, they have a different tiers. I think you can choose 20 months, 24 months, or 28 months, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they've got the G6 right out front. So if you are a US Cellular customer, you'll be happy to know that the G6 is going to be a lot cheaper for you. And I'm thinking if Boost gets it, it's going to really be affordable. Yeah, let's see. See that? $550 price tag. So you can do 30 months, 24 months, or 20 months. So, and they have both colors. They have the platinum and they have the black. The platinum to me is the more appealing color. The black, not so much, because I would just put a carbon fiber skin on it to give it some grip or a case. But Monday's news, you've got the Stylo 3 that recently launched. You got the G6 selling already for $550 on a discount. I'm really hoping Boost gets that and other carriers get it, because they always sell it at a discounted price for all those Boost customers and Virgin customers. AT&T's pricing, it was revealed, I think it's $708. So, there's always tends to be a little higher than everybody else. Haven't heard anything on Sprint. One underlying factor I need you guys to pay attention to for just a second is the free TV that you're going to get from Verizon. Shout out to Grant for reading the fine print, because most of us don't read the fine print. The free TV comes with some serious stipulations. So I would tell you, if you're not a Verizon customer and like if you haven't been with them for a long time or you don't plan on staying with them, don't get that TV because there's a lot of backlash that's going to come from that. Like they're going to want the money back. It won't be free basically. If you try to get the plan and get the phone and get everything and then grab the free TV, and also the TV, you won't get the TV for like 2-3 months. You know, you have to be in good standing for, I forgot what it was. Maybe I'll try to remember to link Grant's tweet in here that linked to that. And it was amazing. It's totally not worth it. I know that sounds crazy, but just taking the free Google Home should be your last stop. And if you're on Verizon, if you've been with them for a long time or you plan on staying with them, then okay, go for the TV. But don't expect to get a TV in the mail after you buy your phone because it's not going to happen. So if you haven't seen the fine print, head over to Verizon's website. I guess you could do that and read the fine details because, you know, Grant dug it up and it's unbelievable the stipulations that come along with getting that phone through them. You know, so it's almost just not even worth it. You know, they're locking you in. So if you are a person that wants to jump around and switch around, don't get that TV on Verizon because you're going to end up just paying more than what the TV's worth. You know, so think about it. But there are bonuses that come up. The Google Home is where you should stop. You know, don't, you know, just saying, you do what you want to do, but read the fine print. It's totally not worth it. Seriously, it's not worth it. Monday's news. Gonna get out of here. Shaman J. Will. I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the LG Stylo 3, the Sapphire HTCU Ultra, the S8 ridiculous price of $1,000, $967 or whatever it converted to. Ridiculous. Just that's a ridiculous price. No phone, all these phones, before I get out of here, none of these phones are worth what the companies are asking for. So to make a big deal out of a phone like something's like what goes around the internet now, to make such a big deal out of something, it's not even necessary. None of these phones are worth it. Again, I've said it before, when you have phones like the Axon 7, who's offering a ton of value for a low price, you know, yeah, we're always going to question why did the OEM's prices so high? Well, they want to make money, you know, so, but you don't have to pay those prices, you know, so, you know, you don't have to get on the internet and trash an OEM just because you disagree with their pricing. I disagree with a lot of pricing, but I don't know if I want to go so far as to just totally run the iPhone in the ground because the iPhone's a great phone, man, you know, but it's a good phone, you know, but I don't think any of these phones are, and that was just an example, but I don't think any of these phones are worth what the companies are asking for. So keep that in mind. Monday's news. I'm really out this time. Take care.